Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Chusnul Khatimah and my registration number is A1M218071. So in this video, I will explain the chapter 12 about the basic principles. When properly implemented, cooperative learning is a powerful instructional approach resulting in a spectrum of positive outcomes. So many research, theory, and years of implementation have led us to conclude that consistent success depends on the four basic principles. So the four basic principles, Dr. Spencer Kagan and Miguel Kagan have made the acronym PIES to help us easily remember the basic principles. So the question is, what are the basic principles that we are talking about? So let's move to the basic principles. So in Kagan's cooperative learning, make an acronym PIES to make us to easily remember the four basic principles. So the first one is P of PIES, stand for positive interdependence, and the second one is E, stand for individual accountability, and the third one is E, stand for equal participation, and the last one is S, stand for simultaneous interaction. So for each principles have a critical question to make us easily to memudahkan kita untuk mengetahui apakah cooperative learning yang kita gunakan itu sudah tepat dengan basic principle ini. So 5 question itu yaitu yang pertama, question 1, in positive correlation, are students on the same side? Question 2, in interdependence, does the task require working together? Question 3, is individual public performance required? The question 4, is participation approximately equal? And the last one is question 5, what percent of students are overtly interacting at once? So that was the critical question. So we move to the first one, the first one of basic principle. The P of PIES, that stands for positive interdependence. So positive interdependence refers to these two distinct conditions that promote cooperation. The first one is a positive correlation of outcomes. So the word positive in the term positive interdependence refers to a positive correlation among outcomes. A positive correlation occurs when outcomes go up or go down together, when they are positively linked. When there is a positive correlation among outcomes, we sense we are on the same side and encourage each other's successes. Your gain is gain for me. My gain is gain for you. It is the feeling we have when we are both working toward a common goal, building something together, or pooling the money we earn to use towards something we both want. For example, dua orang pendaki yang mendaki gunung yang sama dengan tujuan yang sama. So one is above and the other is below. If the one above gets a good foothold, she can support or pull up the one below. So a gain for one is a benefit for the other. If the climber below slips, it puts a strain on the one above, or may even pull her down. Outcomes go up together or go down together. They are positively correlated. So the second one in positive interdependence is interdependence. The word interdependence refers to how the task is structured. If a task is structured so no one of us can do it alone, but we can do it by working together, then we are interdependent. If I cannot do a task alone, but could do it with your help, what am I likely to do? Clearly, interdependence makes it more likely we will cooperate. If we are both really thirsty and want a soda that costs $1, but we each have only 50 cents, what are we likely to do? Clearly, we are going to put our money together so we can buy the soda we want. Okay, so let's move to the second one of basic principle, individual accountability. In the cooperative classroom, students work together as a team to create and to learn, but ultimately every individual student is responsible for his or her own performance. When individual accountability is violated, individuals can hide behind the efforts of their teammates. A lack of individual accountability creates slackers, loafers, logs, and sponge. Individual accountability can take many forms. Students are individually accountable when they take a test, turn in homework, or give a class presentation. So that was the individual accountability. So in individual accountability, there are three components. The first one is individual. The performance is done without help, and the second one is public. Someone witnessed the performance, and the last one is required. The performance is required. Okay, so let's move to the third basic of principle. So the third one is E of PIES, that stand for equal participation. So the E of PIES is the simplest of the four principles. We structure so that students participate about equally. Participation is an integral part of the learning process. Students learn by interacting with the content and with fellow students. For equitable educational outcomes, we need participation to be relatively equal. So, in Kagan's cooperative learning, membuat creating equal participation class dengan by turn taking dan dikolaborasikan dengan time allocation. So in turn taking, para siswa, guru memberikan pertanyaan kepada seluruh siswa secara satu persatu. Tetapi dalam turn taking ini memiliki banyak waktu dan agak tidak efisien untuk dilaksanakan karena membuang-buang waktu selama pelajaran. Tetapi jika dikolaborasikan dengan time allocation, maka di mana time allocation ini guru memberikan siswanya waktu untuk menjawab, batasan waktu untuk menjawab. Jadi tidak memiliki banyak waktu memiliki banyak waktu untuk membuat semua murid berpartisipasi. Nah, seperti itu. Dan next, the last one of basic principles that S of PIES, that stand for simultaneous interaction. So active engagement increases students' learning. If students are off task, they are less likely to learn. If students are only occasionally engaged, they learn less than when they are regularly engaged. Simultaneous interaction is the most powerful tool we have for increasing active engagement. So, in simultaneous interaction, in sequential simultaneous interaction, sequential means one at a time. So many traditional classroom interactions occur in a serial fashion in the common whole class Q&A. 1. The teacher asks a question. 2. One student answers. 3. The teacher responds to the answer. So this classroom pattern is so predominant. Researchers have labeled it IRE, stand for initiation, response, and evaluation. The interaction happens in sequence. The teacher is active, then a student is active, then the teacher is active again. So cooperative learning transforms the IRE pattern into an two-discourse pattern, initiation and interaction. As an introductional class, the teacher asks the class a question, but instead of calling on one student to respond, the teacher simply asks the student to turn to partner and give their best answers. Now half of the class is actively engaged all at the same time in each pair. One student is talking. So I think that's enough for my presentation about the basic principles in Kagan's cooperative learning. So I say thank you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.